Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Skills and Abilities. I'm a little sick, so hopefully I got that good. With the Assassin new rune word coming up, I am actually kind of excited to go over the Assassin, and I was actually going to be going over the sorceress next, but pooey on the sorceress. Let's go over something fun. We're going to go over the assassin skills, and the reason why we're going over the assassin is because of this beautiful rune word that they're going to be releasing soon in patch 2.6. Now this is subject to change, and they have said that they're going to be making some changes to these rune words, but the most important thing to look at here is the chance for finishing moves not to consume, and of course why is it like I don't know. I guess it's just cut off. But it's a 25% chance, and the 25% chance does stack between the two claws. So basically what we're looking at here is some interesting interactions with the way this new rune word works, and of course the charge abilities. Now, first off, what we're going to be looking at is Tiger Strike. Tiger Strike is a relatively simple ability that simply adds off-weapon ED to your attack, and it's very visible on the actual screen here. So if I were to go out and maybe put something like Dragon Talon up, you can see my Dragon Talon is 357 to 570, or I could even throw up Dragon Claw, which is, instead of going off of my kick damage, is going to go off my claw damage. Now I don't have two claws on, so I can't actually use Dragon Claw. So we're going to stick with Dragon Talon. And then I'm going to throw Tiger Strike. Let's put 1 point in Tiger Strike real quick. And we're going to go take a look and see how this ability works. So the Assassin has these abilities called charges. They're called charge up skills. There are quite a few of them. We have Tiger Strike, a Cobra Strike, Phoenix Strike, Fists of Fire, Claws of Thunder, and Blades of Ice. These are all considered charge up abilities. Charge up abilities are simply abilities that when you attack, and holy crap, that is a lot of archers. Holy Jesus. That was way too many archers. So charge up abilities are going to give you an orb that goes around your character. And basically all you have to do is land an attack on a monster, and you will get these little orbs. You have to actually land the attack to get the orbs. And they tend to last about like 15 seconds. I mean, you can see it here. It's not a particularly long period of time. You can build up 1, 2, and then 3. You have 3 different charges. Now, when you have the charges activated, you can actually physically see on the character panel the effect of what those charges is giving you. And in this particular case, it is 480% increased physical damage. Now, they have made a lot of changes to these charge up abilities, and I know a lot of you guys and gals out there will, for some reason or another, like land blast me because you don't read up on patch notes. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, all right? This is things that they've changed. Number 1, when you burn a charge, which is with a finisher, it no longer burns the entire stack. It burns only one of the charges. So in this particular case, if I were to build up 3 charges, I have 1620 as the 3rd charge. It would burn 1 of the 3, and it would continue down the line, then burning 10,000 or the 1,080, and then the 540%. Now this is off physical weapon ED, so this is not actually like on weapon ED. It is essentially the same thing as what Fortitude gives you. So Fortitude has like 400% enhanced damage, and off weapon ED is the same kind of damage, off weapon damage that you're getting from Fortitude. So in this particular case, if we were to have a Fortitude on, that would be 1600 plus the 400 from Fortitude. Maybe we also have some other off weapon ED in the form of maybe some auras. Maybe we're running a Might aura with a Merc. And by the time we're finished and we have all of our various sources of off weapon ED running, we could be looking at some pretty high amounts of damage. Now, the other interesting thing that's going on with these charges now that they have changed is that once you have a charge built, your finisher, which is any of the finishers on the right side, will now no longer miss at all if you have a charge of any type on your character. So for instance, if you are, I don't know, let's just go somewhere a little bit easy since this character's HP is only 689 for some reason. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you that you basically have a guaranteed hit as long as you have at least a charge on your ability. So right now I have one kick? I'm only at one kick on this because I'm only at level 4. It will guarantee the hit so that the ability will 100% land on the target. As you can see very clearly, I'm now doing 2,868 to 4,328. And that's, of course, not counting in any other hidden effects that may be going on. Now, when I kick, it's going to burn one of the 2 charges, and it will clearly go down in damage to 2,031 to 3,075. And then, finally, if I kick that last one, then I've got only 1 charge. But every single time I have any charge running, it is a guaranteed hit now in the form of the same thing as Smite works. Now, granted, you do have to build the charge before you can guarantee the hit, but it's pretty darn cool. Now, this new rune word allows you to essentially attack with a finisher and use the actual effect for the charge up ability without actually burning the charge, which I have tested quite a bit, and it is absolutely insane at what it allows you to do. Even at only 50%, there were many times where I was able to get off 8 or 9, sometimes even 10 attacks without burning all the charges. And I would literally have things like Phoenix Strike, and I would literally have like 8 blades of ice go off at the same time, or the meteors. I had quite a few times where literally I was able to fire off literally 8 meteors within a very small period of time using things like Dragon Talon and Dragon Claw. It is important to note that Tiger Strike in particular does not apply its physical damage increase to anything other than the main hand weapon or your kicks. In other words, like if you're using Dragon Claw, it will not apply the bonus damage to your second claw for some reason, only your main hand claw. Everything else is a kick ability anyway, and kick abilities are going off of, instead of your claw damage, they are going off of your boot damage. Now, for some reason or another, set items have never showed the kick damage, but if you take a look at any pair of boots, it doesn't really matter what boots they are. You can just take a look in the shop. If you are on an assassin, you will clearly see that the boots have kick damage written on them. Of course, there's no boots anywhere for me to look at. Geed, my friend, tell me you have some boots. You don't have any boots either. Do you have boots in here? Do you have boots for gamble? As you can see, these are 4 to 10 kick damage, and I can gamble a couple pairs and see if I can get myself some elite boots. Now, each tier of boots upward has higher kick damage. As you can see, the shark skin boots have 28 to 50, and so forth and so on, and the elites having the highest kick damage possible. So if you are going to be going for a kick build, utilizing Dragon Talon, or Dragon Tail, or Dragon Flight, which are all essentially kick abilities, you definitely want to have a nice pair of boots on. The best pair of boots, honestly, for assassins is generally a upgraded Gore Riders, or you could also do upgraded Goblin Toes, which have higher crushing blow but less kick damage. Now, Tiger Strike is one of those crazy abilities that can go up really high in terms of damage, and how high specifically is kind of like through the roof. And so I'd like to go over to Amazon Basin real quick and pull up the numbers. We're looking at, per charge, by the way, the bare minimum that we could probably get is somewhere around like level 45, maybe like level 48. Tiger Strike, which is a total of about 1,040% increase per charge. So we're looking at a grand total of 1,040 times 3 charges, which is going to give us 3,120% increased physical damage. Now keep in mind, of course, that is, of course, only physical damage, and there are going to be some things that this doesn't work on. Off-weapon ED doesn't work on everything. But in this particular case, if you were using Tiger Strike with Dragon Talon, Dragon Claw, Dragon Tail, or Dragon Flight, it should work in any of these situations. And also guarantee a hit in any of those options. Now, in the past, with the way that Tiger Strike worked, because the finishers would actually have a chance to miss, you could potentially waste Tiger Strike. It was a very odd thing about Tiger Strike. I'm not really sure if I can demonstrate this, but basically, when you use Tiger Strike, there's actually like sort of a animation or an effect which occurs, which actually applies the off-weapon ED when you hit a target. And what would happen is if you missed, it would apply the off-weapon ED bonus, whether or not you were hitting the target or not. And it's a very clear effect. You can clearly see the shiny sort of like, like hit that like glows and hits the target. But nowadays, because the effect is guaranteed, the attack is essentially guaranteed, you don't have to worry about Tiger Strike being wasted anymore, which is definitely very nice. Back in the day, it used to get wasted all the time. You would charge up 3 abilities, you'd go up to a monster, you would try to attack them, you would miss, and as soon as you missed, you would just be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just, that was a waste of my time building those 3 attacks because they were absolutely useless. And Tiger Strike was always kind of sad in this regard. Now, because of the Mosaic Rune Word and the fact that you can maintain these charges further than you could ever before, it definitely does make for some interesting combinations, and it's something that we're going to have to look into for the future. There's really not a lot more to go over with Tiger Strike because it is literally just a physical damage increase ability. It doesn't really have any other things going for it. I mean, it will increase, I believe, Dragon Tail because of the way that Dragon Tail calculates its damage, despite the fact that it's fire damage. In fact, I think I could actually just bring it up on the screen here. So if I go out here and just charge up the ability, as you can see, Dragon Tail is also increased in damage, despite the fact that it is technically fire damage. It's a 110% increased fire damage or whatever. This is because Dragon Tail processes its damage a little bit differently than you would think. And so increasing the physical damage actually does increase the fire damage because it actually deals the physical damage first and then converts it, which is a little strange. I think that's pretty much it for Tiger Strike. We're going to move on to some of these other more fun ones like Fists of Fire, Claws of Thunder, and Blades of Ice. As always, I'd appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're talking about a rather simple skill like this. And as always, keep watching.